Gotta get my Palpatine going.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Talking with Tanya. This is kind of a spur of the moment kind of episode. You know, I kind of like this. It almost feels like a what is it called? Like a bit? No,
A
what
skit?
do they call it? No, what do they call it? Like a trend?
Trend.
No, like a series of type of videos.
Series type of videos.
Like when you film something, or like, say for example, like there's this influencer or whatever, or someone you like to watch,
Yeah.
and then they do a get ready with me, and they're like, people are like, I want to see more get ready with me's. So like the get ready with me's are like
Oh
the
yeah,
types
like
of
a kind of
series.
video. Yeah, type
Yeah,
of series.
series.
Yeah.
So this is almost like a series, right? Well, how I
Mm-hmm.
like to see it, because it's like a spur of the moment. Like, this was not planned. Normally I always like to plan my episodes, and this was just a spur of the moment. Like, let's make a podcast episode. And okay, but I also like to start off with, once again, my name's Tanya, looking for an intern to help me grow Talking with Tanya, putting an announcement out there. Try and find someone who can help me grow and help me, market my podcast, edit my videos, post social media. This is not something that's super structural or corporate or like official. So it's like, well, I guess it's a little official, but at the same time, it's like I'm still growing, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to find something who's willing to grow with me. Yeah, so I like to start that off in my podcast episodes because I'm still looking for somebody. But
Oh my.
anyways, this episode was super spontaneous. It was out of nowhere. I pulled a double today. I picked up a shift for the evening. I was scheduled to work this morning, and I picked up an evening shift. And I came home. No, before I came home, my friends called me. Gonzo called me, and he was like, Jimmy wants to make some carne. And I was like, you know what? Anything for my friends. I got you guys. So I stopped at the store, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, we can make some food. And I just like one quality I love about my friends is that they're very lively. I really believe that life is what you make of it, and we live each day like we're grateful,
Mm-hmm.
especially for each other. So that's why I'm just like so eager to make good memories, And then there's something Gabriel said the other day was like, isn't nostalgia crazy?
Oh yeah.
He's like, you could just look back at and think about good times and just feel happy in the moment. And I was just like, I love that thought. So that was beautiful. But what was I? Anyway, so this was very spur of the moment, and I don't know if we should make this a series. But then again, it's like, it's so spontaneous. It's not like it's planned. So I can't even plan this in a series. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
um but we something that I like to implement, and it's not something that I did recently, but it's something I did at the very beginning when I first started podcasting, was deep breathing. it
Oh yeah.
really it really helps to center us. It helps us
Mm-hmm.
keep relaxed, to not be so scatterbrained, and it was helping me collect my thoughts and help me think like, oh, what should this podcast episode be about? Because normally I plan these things in advance. I have an outline. I have something to speak on. We already have the next one planned.
Mm-hmm.
And and isn't this crazy? It's episode 30. This is a milestone episode,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And we had something else planned, but I guess this is a spontaneous one. Anyways, so there were a few things that I had in mind that we could talk about. For example, like in my podcast episodes, I normally like to speak on life updates, things that have been going on, and sometimes I make insights in life that I'm just like, oh, I could take a notice and speak about it on my podcast. For example, I've really been like evaluating my relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because I've been trying to read lately at work in my break. I'm trying to implement the time and make use out of my breaks, because I noticed I would just be scrolling on my phone. So I'm like, I'm going to use this time to my advantage, and I'm going to be reading a book every time I'm on my break now, from now on.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that not every time, but just lately, I try to read and people always come up and talk to me. The amount of apologies I've gotten, I'm like, I'm sorry, let me let you get you back to your book. I won't bother you anymore. And they come back and bother me. And it doesn't bother me. I love that people
The
love to
engagement.
talk
Yeah.
to me so much. It's just funny that like I'm trying to use this time to help me, and now I
And all
can't,
of a sudden, it's
Do I have
social
to find
hour. Yeah.
it's funny. I just take it as a compliment. People just enjoy conversing with me, and I'm just grateful for that. But another thing at work I've noticed is something I guess evaluated, something that I've evaluated, right, is that I do like I was trying to hang out more with people from work, and yes, I want to build relationships and stuff, but I started to ask myself, like, how do I build relationships? How do I how do I see if like a person checks the boxes to stay in my life? I don't want to sound harsh either, you know? I'm not It's not that I don't want to cut people off, but I also don't know if I want to keep them in my life. I'm trying to see the long-term vision of where are these relationships going to go, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, it makes me question, like, so now I'm trying to prioritize myself. That's the number one key in my life right now, myself. So,
Mhm.
and it sucks because sometimes it hurts feelings, but people start to wonder, like, where do I fit in with your
Mhm.
life? And this is like, it's like I like to make people feel good, but I need it reciprocal. I need it balanced.
Yeah.
I need that's like a necessity. That's not up for debate. It's
Mhm.
not a compromise. I need that. But the problem is, I feel like I'm so comfortable. Like, you, as long as you come to me with respect, you can tell me any issue you have with me.
Mhm.
I just don't know if you can receive that same thing
Right.
from me,
Mhm.
you know? So that's where I'm at with that. Like, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think it makes sense. You want to, I mean, as harsh as it sounds, I feel like everybody has that person maybe that they thought like I didn't really have to spend all that time with them. I don't know. I just feel like it's like discernment. Like you want to make sure that you're investing in things that are aligned with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, yeah, I feel like everybody can relate to that. They've probably made a friend at some point, and maybe in the beginning they thought, you know, they had an idea of the future, and then
You
doesn't end
see,
up being
so
the
so that's
case.
the thing. I think I have the gift of like helping people be safe, and like I can see people for who they are because I actually take the time to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But when I feel like when it's my turn, I'm not sure if they're really listening. You get me?
Huh.
Like, they don't ask the questions to get to know me. It's always like there's a quote that stood out to me. It's like people don't remember what you did for them. They remember how you made them feel.
Interesting.
And I'm always like, I feel like I'm always making people feel comfortable, feel
Mm-hmm.
safe, feel like seen, right? But I don't ever feel the same way about myself sometimes, especially with new people, because I feel like I'm I have such a depth to me that they're not there to where they can see that, if that makes sense. You get me?
Yeah.
like for example, the things we talk about, or even stuff on my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you know people don't really are I don't feel like people are as insightful as I am,
Or
you
even
know
willing to like have those conversations.
to like be able to admit, like, oh, like, this is something I'm struggling with. Like, for example, me, like, oh, I'm struggling with building relationships because I feel they're not as insightful as I am. I literally just said that. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Anyways.
Yeah, I feel like I've felt the same way before. There are people that I feel like in the past, like there was something that we really bonded over. Like for example, soccer, right?
Mhm.
I've had really good soccer teammates.
Mhm.
They're like super good. Like if I get in a fight on the field, they got my back, all that, right? Like we have fun, we bond over soccer things like training. But I feel like there's a lot of conversations I can't have with most of them. You know,
Right, that's what I'm
like
saying.
it just never comes up, and if it does, it's not something that they're even interested in
So
discussing.
so it's like you're safe with me 100%, but I'm not with you. You get me?
Yeah, it feels like I have to be a specific version of myself around them. Like
Exactly.
anything else doesn't really connect or land.
We can't speak freely.
Yeah, and it
Oh,
sucks too, cause like I feel like it comes from like it has to be like a natural organic like interest, because you can't really convince people that things are interesting. They just are or aren't,
yeah.
to
And
them.
something I struggle with speaking to about people with people is like humility. Like, if sometimes people struggle to see where they're wrong. They're like so stuck in their opinions to where like they they don't want to see different perspectives or the other person's perspective, especially when they feel wronged. It's like, no, I refuse to see, you know, what how else how what other way this could look like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different
other
perspectives.
different point of view. So it's like, and I feel like I'm almost mastering that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like even when I'm uncomfortable, for for example, like I feel like one of our roommates is like upset and he's not coming up to me directly, but I can sense that like I'm not fulfilling my side of like the chores or whatever. And I feel like I'm so busy, you know, I work, I podcast, I cook, I grocery shop. Like I just feel like I have no time, not even for myself. And I'm such a lover of life. I want to prioritize my relationships and having a good time because I don't want just life to be about work.
Yeah.
I don't. So I was trying to see from like I was like upset, like I have no time. I don't, you know, I already do so much as it is. And it's like I started to like question myself. Like that's very big. I feel like of me as a person to be like, whoa, am I in the wrong?
Yeah.
You know, to be able to stop and be like, wait, let me see why he's feeling the way he's feeling. And I feel like a lot of people don't master that or haven't mastered that yet, or don't even think to think like that. You know,
Yeah.
especially when there's like emotions involved. If you feel defensive, and I'm not gonna lie, I have felt defensive.
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way, but I'm just like, wait, let me think about this while being angry, let me think about this. And that brings me back to the game. So we were literally just playing Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
I lost 2 games. He won one, his friend won one, and there's only 3 of us playing. That means I'm the only one who lost. Ain't that some shit? But so I feel it in my body that I'm angry. I feel it. And we're talking about making doing this podcast. I almost want to be like, I'm going to bed, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. That's what my body's trying to tell me to say. But it's the crazy part is the self-awareness of being able to see that
Mm-hmm.
and be like, whoa, my body wants me to say this, but my mind is saying, hold up a minute, I was excited about doing this, I don't want to give that up. So it's to be able to stop myself and tell myself, what can I do to change the mood? So then that's when I brought up deep breathing, because I was like, I know that always resets my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
recenters me. It it makes me steady. It makes me relaxed in my body, and it brings me back and says, and it did, and that's what I love about it so much, and that's why I recommend it to people, because it's like, whoa, like it works wonders, and now I feel like myself again.
I remember the first time you guys introduced me to it. I think we just did it in general.
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
it wasn't like anybody was stressed or anything. We were
mhm,
just like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I
mhm,
was like, "Okay," you know.
mhm,
And I remember as we did it more and more, you guys were explaining to me like, "Oh yeah, you know, it's really good to like get yourself out of your head. Like if you ever feel like you're really sitting with negative emotions, like this is like a nice little reset."
mhm,
And it's worked a lot for me. Like I remember one day I was feeling like a lot of anxiety for some reason, like a sense of urgency when I was trying to go to sleep, and it was like messing with me. Like I
mhm,
couldn't go to sleep, but I knew I had to sleep. I felt like I had to like be ready for something,
mhm,
and so I did the breathing, and it just like completely reset me, and I was really calm, and it made it like easy to go straight to sleep after that. You know,
mhm, mhm.
I feel like it's
Yes,
very useful,
yes. So in so many ways, that's a good point.
and not just for your like emotions. Like I feel like you have more blood in your brain after it, or more oxygen in your blood, and
Yes, I think that's like the science behind it. He's explained it in the video, but we always skip that part.
yeah.
We go straight to it because we've done it so many times. But I know he explains it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing I want to bring up. So that's why it's like relationships are like a very complex thing for me right now. I'm like trying to discern, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I need to be more careful with building deeper relationships because I'm afraid of hurting people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to put myself first. You know,
Yeah.
because I feel like I carry the relationship emotionally a lot, and that's why I appreciate you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one of my best friends for life. This is my
Mm-hmm.
brother. This is family. You know why? Because he probably knows more of me than anybody because he's willing to listen to me. And I feel like you're the only one who really asks the most questions. You like actually like are listening,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention, and I'm just like, whoa, like this person knows my story. And it's like I'm so used to being the one who's listening that this is different, this is new to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it feels good to be seen.
Yeah.
And I don't and that's what's crazy. That's what I was thinking today even. I'm just like I build all these relationships and I'm like and I feel like I'm listening and I'm like trying to see and understand people and I'm acting like it's because you know a lot about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
and and you even say like, whoa, like you've been through some shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because I feel like I it's crazy that I've been through all this stuff and I'm still happy and a lover of life and
Yeah.
adventurous and like grateful and I feel blessed and when I feel like I portray myself that way to other people, that they assume automatically that I haven't been through stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
There is. I feel like, yeah. Sometimes because you're so upbeat and
Mm-hmm.
like energetic, sometimes I feel like people take that for like almost like being naive or something. Like, oh, she
Yeah.
doesn't know yet. Like, it hasn't
Yes.
happened to her yet or something.
And it makes me question, it even made me question like how is it that I became this way through the stuff that I've been through.
I feel like we should look into that. See
Right?
what.
Isn't
See
it
like if
crazy?
there's like a scientific aspect to it. Maybe it's like a gene
And
thing.
that's something I even asked you earlier. I was like, if it were someone else who gone through what I've been through, like would they have been bitter? Would they have been cold? Or is it because who I am at my core essence? Does that make sense?
I feel like I don't know for sure, but a generalization that I'm assuming is that there's a range of, for one, there's your personal range of what you can deal with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like there's some things that you just can't deal with,
Mm-hmm.
and as individuals, we all have different. We're all at different levels of a spectrum as well, right? So like maybe for example, just to make a simple example, you and I, let's say we have a high physical threshold for pain, right?
Mm.
But our emotional or mental pain threshold could be low, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
Or it could be really high.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like since it's more gray than black and white, like depending on your ratios and stuff, like you can still have a range of expressions or abilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe your threshold for pain physically isn't that high, right? And you really feel things, but your mental fortitude is like off the charts. Then I feel like you could overcome your physical
Interesting.
weaknesses,
Yeah.
right? Versus you could have a high threshold for pain, but your mind is weak, and then or whatever, for lack of a better, it's just a point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then even just the idea, like the threat of things, could be enough to make people fold
Mm-hmm.
without actually being in danger, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, I remember watching an episode of Naked and Afraid, and it was like this sweet redheaded lady, and she just seemed like
Is
a
this what you
very,
told me earlier? This
yeah,
is funny. Yeah,
she just
continue.
seemed like the softest, nicest woman,
Yeah.
right? Like one of those, oh dear, like kind of ladies, like super sweet. You'll never
Yeah.
catch her talking
Yeah.
smack about anybody. One of those people, right? Just real nice and sweet. And then there's like this Marine who's like jacked, and I mean, he was in pretty good shape. And I just remember he was like being arrogant. I think when they introduced him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm an ex-Marine. Like this is nothing for me. Like whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right?"
Mm-hmm.
I think he even said that he was like into the idea of testing himself. And then the other girl was just like, oh, I'm just here for fun. She was like, I hope this is, this is quite the experience. This isn't quite like
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
and then so they end up going through it. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember the exact parameters of the show, but I want to say they spend like 3 nights in like the brush or something, like butt naked.
Yeah.
And maybe they give them like one tool or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like up to them to make shelter. It's up to them to find something to eat, to boil water, to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it started raining one of the nights. And so they're like cuddling for body heat, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the whole time this guy's just complaining, like he can't believe it, and he's frustrated, and it's cold, and he's wet. And she's just trying to be like positive, the way I remember it.
Yeah.
And the whole time she's like, it's okay, we got this, one night down, in the morning it'll be better. And the whole time he's complaining. And I almost feel like there's a turn in the show where like the second night or the second day, he's just been complaining and he's in a sour mood. And I think even she gets tired of him. She's just like, be quiet, like you complain a lot, dude. And then I think it rained again that night, and he taps out in the middle of the night. Like it must have been like
Wow.
12, 1 in the morning, and she's like, "Are you for real? Like you're not even gonna
Ain't
like
no way.
like tomorrow's the last day, you know?" And he's like, "Nah, man." He's like, F all this noise. He's like, I'm out of here. And she's just like, can't believe it. And she's like, well, whatever, I'm staying. And she like stayed and she finished the whole time.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so it's like maybe her threshold normally for pain isn't
Well, I've
super
also
high,
heard
right?
women's pain threshold is higher than
In
men's.
general, I feel
Yeah.
like that might be a thing.
I was like watching TikTok, especially from like tattoo artists. They always say
Hmm.
that the women are able to endure it more than.
Really?
But I also think it has to do with like child labor and like um period cramps.
Oh,
You
right,
know?
right, right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. My mind went elsewhere when you said child labor. I thought of like sweatshops. I was like, what? I was like, what is she talking about? I was like, and then you said
poor
cramps, and I
choice
was
of
like,
poor choice of words.
and then when you said the other stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They deal with painful stuff. But for a second, I was like, whoa.
Poor choice of words. You're right. You're right.
I thought of like a dimly lit room and a bunch of kids making cell
That's
phones.
crazy. Yeah, but
They also say apparently redheads have like a specific gene that gives them an even slightly higher threshold for pain than the average person.
interesting. I wonder why.
Wonder if that is a thing.
Hmm.
It's interesting to see how like we're built different, you know? Like I
Hmm.
was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast and I think he was talking to Duncan Trussell and he was like they were just speculating about aliens and stuff and they were like, "Oh, they were talking about the Book of Enoch." And he was like, "Have you read the Book of Enoch?" He goes, "It's bananas." He's like, "There's giants and like there's this race called the Nephilim and they're like the product of us uh reproducing with like other people and there's like these watchers that are like aliens." And he goes, "It kind of sounds like us. Like they came, messed with our DNA, took our women." And then he's like, because when you think about the Nephilim, they describe them as like these warring people, these giants that are like killing each other and destroying resources.
What the heck?
And he was like, that sounds like us. He was like, that sounds like what we're doing to the world. So they were just speculating,
Mm,
but they were also talking about how there's different kinds of like humans, like the Neanderthals. They
mm,
had bigger eyes than we did, and they had bigger eye sockets.
interesting.
Also, their brains were technically bigger than ours, but I think a specific part of our brain was more developed than part of theirs.
What's a Neanderthal?
I think
I thought that's what we are.
no, we're Homo sapiens.
Interesting.
So from what I remember, there's like Homo something anensis or something. There's like weird words like that,
Uh-huh.
and then there's like Homo erectus, which was like the first upright person, I think.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then there's
It's like that
Homo
that graph,
Neanderthalis
right?
or something.
Of like from
Hmm.
chimp to like human.
And supposedly, as far as I remember, Neanderthals are the ones right before us.
Oh.
And it's kind of creepy how like when we came along the evolution, right,
Hmm.
from like when we showed up
Isn't there a
as Homo
missing
sapiens,
link?
there's several missing links in the thing. There's
Interesting.
like a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
steps that are like
Hmm.
they kind of map them as best as they can. But supposedly there was an immediate decline in the Neanderthals when we came up. Like the moment Homo sapiens came out and evolved, like Neanderthals were not around for much longer than that. And the odd thing about it is that we shared genes with them. Like there are people today that still have Neanderthal genes.
What the
So
heck?
we would hope that we intentionally procreated, but you know, back then times were wild, so a lot of it could have just been rape and warring,
Oh my gosh.
but we don't know for sure. But it's funny because like there's different thoughts on it. Like
Hmm.
or how did Joe Rogan say it? There's different schools of thought. There's like people that assume that they were a lot more limited than us, but then there's also like proof that they had art and that they buried their people even with
Hmm.
like carved things. So if they were burying, that's like another level of thinking, right? Because now
Yeah.
you're thinking ahead. You're thinking of them like you're, you know, I don't feel like animals do that, right?
Hmm.
Like something dies and that's it. Like they don't think about burying it or they're not like ceremonious about it.
Yeah.
We know that they had music too, I think. But it's weird because their bone density was way thicker than ours and they had way more muscle mass.
Hmm.
They were like thick, blocky people. But even though their brains were bigger than ours, somehow they weren't the same, if I remember correctly. I don't know. It's really weird.
This is interesting.
But it just makes you think like they supposedly had a ridiculous threshold for pain. I remember,
Neanderthals?
yes, I remember seeing a one of those like what is it, National Geographic or one of those
I used to love
channels,
that channel.
and they had one about like Neanderthals, and I remember they showed one, and they were like they were super hardy, and it was
You
hard
sure
to
it's not
keep
the
them up.
History Channel?
It might have been the History Channel.
Yeah, I love that channel too. And Animal Planet.
Yeah, and it shows him, and he's like in the snow, and he like falls or something and rolls down a hill, and as he's falling and rolling, he like breaks his hand on a tree, and he just gets up and he's like, and he like snaps his fingers back into place.
Oh my gosh, that's
So they
horrible.
were saying basically like they were a lot better at dealing with pain than us, but I don't know.
Oh. Well, can you imagine? Because
I mean, imagine having to hunt back then, like
I know that's what I'm
real
saying.
animal, like a tiger.
Living in that time back then, to like even before they what is it called when they stay in one area?
Oh, you mean like back when everybody was nomadic before we would like
Yeah,
stay
but
in?
what is it when they stay in
I
one area?
forget
I'm
because
trying.
I know nomadic is when they move.
Yeah, but when they stay in one area, when they become civilized, is
Right.
it?
I guess so
No, when
because they
they.
build civilizations.
Yeah, but there's another word for it, and it
I
bothers
know.
me.
I know. Um,
Anyways, when they became before. Wait, why was I even saying this?
I don't remember, but you were saying like even before they started staying in places.
Oh no, I'm trying to say like what's it called? No, even when they first initially, like us like human beings,
Mhm.
like even if we're related to Neanderthals or not,
Mhm.
like just us, like our ancestors, when they first became civilized, like all they had to worry about is getting food on the table and like not even school, you know?
Oh yeah,
That's what's
everything you learned was
crazy.
just about survival.
That's what I'm
Like you learn how
saying.
to cook, you learn how to stay clean, you learn how to like what not to eat. Everything was survival based. You learn to
Yeah.
plan ahead for winters and stuff. Like,
Maybe and when they first became civilized is when they domesticated. When they
oh
is that the word? No, it's not.
no,
But
because I feel
anyways,
like domesticating is like training an animal.
yeah. But either way, when they first became civilized, they started to
Hmm.
domesticate animals.
Yes,
Maybe started breeding them and keeping them.
but
You
you want to
know
know what's crazy?
what?
Some of them kept animals, I think, but they didn't have agriculture.
Uh
Like
huh.
not everybody had
Oh,
agriculture.
that's another aspect of it.
Yeah.
And how do they survive winters?
Or actually, I think it was the opposite. I think the Aztecs had agriculture,
Uh
but they
huh.
didn't keep animals, and that's why they ate people. Did you know about that?
They ate people?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, the Aztecs had this belief that like they really believed in energy and power. So like if you and I were fighting,
Uh
right?
huh.
Like we're different tribes, and you're like a renowned swordsman,
Uh huh.
if I kill you, I want to eat your arms
Oh
because
my
then I gain
gosh.
your abilities.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Oh my
and there's a
gosh.
lot of like apparently evidence that they ate people. Yeah,
How did they survive winters?
that's a good question. I don't know,
That's scary. That's one thing I think about.
but it's crazy to think all the stuff that they would have back then, like systems for water and stuff, and
Yeah, right. I feel like they were way more industrious.
but it's crazy to think how like they can still have sophistication while using like just I guess the properties of physics and stuff.
And that's something I fear is that we rely so much on like modern technology
Mm-hmm.
and like systems that it's like if stuff hit the fan, like if shit hit the fan, like what do we do? A lot of us
I don't know. I don't know. See, this is the
would
thing.
struggle.
See, this is the thing, though.
Huh.
I feel like it's just like the human body. Like
Mm-hmm.
your mind is very efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if our lives are soft, we become soft,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Like, there's a reason why they say corn fed. You know, like when they talk about like people that grow up on farms, it's like they grow up, lugging hail around, riding horses, like
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of physical work, running around.
Mm-hmm.
They have great immune systems. They're like playing in the mud since they're kids. So I feel like all that makes a difference. Like if you put that same kid in like a Studio City apartment, like
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be soft. So in that sense, if you can be physically soft and then get physically hard, like if like they put like a city boy in a ranch, he'll acclimate. Like that's what the body's the best at is adapting to
Oh.
necessary pressures.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the same thing. Like even though we might be kind of dumb and vanilla when it comes to things like that, like
Mm.
if the world ended, I promise you, you learn how to read that map pretty
Yeah,
fast.
but not everybody's equipped. Not everybody can adapt.
As fast or as easily or in general.
Just in general.
I feel like there are some duds. Like if the shit hit the fan, they'd be like, "Hello," and like like a victim or something in like the
Mm.
end of the world. But
You know, one thing I would worry about at the end of the world? It's crazy. I don't even know how we ended up in this topic, but
yeah.
like, is fucking what's it called? Something I worry about is liabilities.
Oh my
You know,
god.
someone stupid who's like
But then it
making
gets.
mistakes
But
and
see,
costing us resources or even other people's lives.
that's the worst part. I can deal with
Or
resources,
someone who's being a fucking a pain in the
but the
ass
lives
and is
part
butting
is when it
heads with
kills me.
you and they're being
Yeah,
oh my
because
gosh.
especially after seeing like The Walking Dead, like, can you imagine how pissed you would be if this happened to either of us? Like, imagine somebody gets scared and they run into a room with zombies, so you or I run after them and we die because their dumbass went in there and we try to help them.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Like
or
I'd be like, I'm sorry, Jeffrey, you weren't worth the wonga. You know,
or
like
we set up such a sick ass freaking camp, and someone wants to venture off on their own and be like, you know what, I can get resources. They say I'm incapable, but I'm gonna prove it to them. And they break open the fence and they let a bunch of zombies into our camp. It's like we've been trying to tell you, you incapable.
nah, man. If we set
And
up,
you trying to prove
I
to
don't see
us.
that happening. We'd have to be sleeping or something.
Yeah.
Cause like, if I see somebody go towards the gate, I'll be like, we'll just throw you over it, bro. You're not opening that gate.
Yeah, but if it's like a big ass piece of land, we can't keep track of everybody
Well, then
24/7.
that would give us time too. Then, if there's so much land, the zombies might not find us immediately.
That's why I like struggle with like, oh, and that's why it's important to like.
The trust thing is the worst
That's
though,
what I'm
because you
saying.
don't know. Like you maybe you find a traveler and they seem like they're cool,
Oh,
and
I
then
forget about that part.
we're all sleeping and he just gets up and shoots all the guys or something. You know what I mean? Or like, and then goes after the women, or like, I don't know. What if you just wake up and he's like embracing you or something?
That's another scary thing. We back to cowboy times. They ain't no police officers.
And the scariest thing about it living in those times is that it becomes like the law of the jungle. It's like you can do what you can enforce, right? Like there's no law, there's no right and
Yeah,
wrong
that's
depending on
scary,
people.
bro.
I
That
mean,
is true.
you would want to remain a civilized person. You would want to hold fast to your values
Yeah.
and stuff. But
Not everybody agrees.
a lot of people would be like, "Fuck it, violence and rape are cool." Like a lot of people would
Not
just go
just that.
backwards.
Not just that. It's like you have what I need. You know, it's survival of
But
the
the thing
fittest.
though is that's literally how it was in the West. If I was riding out and I saw
Oh,
somebody and he's got nice boots and a good horse, maybe I might shoot him from like 200 yards or something and then come up to him and take his stuff. Like back
wow.
then, oh, we look like we the same boot
That
size.
probably happened all the time,
They
bro.
would do it to land. They would get to a piece of a farm or a farm and they'd be like, "This farm's tight," and they'd be like, "I know, that's why we settled here," and they'd be like, "I want it now."
Settle. That's the word I was
Oh,
looking
settlers.
for.
There you go.
Settling. That's the word I was looking for. That's pretty cool. Came full circle.
Yeah, yeah. But you see what I mean? Like tons of people, and then it's tough because like you hear of horrible things. Like this one's in particular is made up, but there's several examples of this I'm sure in real life. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you find out like halfway through the game that Arthur used to have a family, and you're like, how did he have a family? Why is he still in the gang?
Hmm.
It turns out that he had them on the side, and he was still traveling with his gang, so he would come back and visit them on a parcel of land he had.
Wow.
And what had happened was while he was gone on like a train robbery or something with the gang, some guys came through the ranch and he wasn't home. And so I think they like brutalized his wife and shot her and his son.
Hmm.
And then he says, and all for $10. That's all that was on the ranch is $10 of cash.
Wow.
They didn't even stay to keep the land or anything. They just killed them, took $10 and left with like bread and
That's
cheese and
crazy.
yeah. And then the part that bums me out the most is like I don't want to live that way. But I feel like if I have to, like I don't know, I just feel like it's tough because you want to be strong, right? But you also don't want to be naive or reckless.
Hmm.
And I almost feel like I'd want to get ahead of it. Like I wouldn't want to wait for one of you guys to die to have like a strong rule about something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Hmm.
I almost feel like I'd have to like literally be like only women and children. I'm sorry. I can't trust other dudes. I just can't,
Hmm.
you know? And if we get into a scuffle with people and they have children, we adopt the children like Native Americans, I guess. I don't know. But like
Hmm.
I don't it's just tough, you know? I almost feel like you have to have a magical meeting with somebody where like you both get stuck in a hospital somehow and then they help you get out of it and then maybe you can trust them, you know? But even then, you don't know.
Yeah.
Even then, you don't know because in The Last of Us, he literally saves Abby's life before she kills him when they go back to their gang. He
Wow.
had just gotten done saving her life, and then she found out that he was Joel, and it didn't mean shit that he saved her, and he literally
Wow.
saved her. Him and his brother
No
saved her. She was gonna
way.
die because she went off on her own to come like spy on them,
Yeah.
and they were doing like a scouting thing, so they found her and they saved her.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Saving somebody and then they kill you fucking 15, 40 minutes later.
Oh my gosh, that's tough. You see, that's why I always tell like make jokes to you guys like it's the end of the world. Just kill me now. Just off me now. I don't even want to know what's out there
And
or what's to come
and
or
initially I'd be like, "You're crazy, right?" Like I always tell you, don't talk like that. But then I kind of also get what you're saying because like I almost feel like it would be like The Walking Dead, where
That's
in
a
the
new
beginning
world.
Rick Grimes was a scholar and a gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, he stopped waiting for shit to go wrong and just started
Yeah.
making strong decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they were in the jail and the guy threw a zombie on him, like a zombie went to get him and he threw him on him. He's like, "Sorry, bro, he was coming at me." And he was like, "Oh." He's just looking at you like, "I know what kind of person you are." And then while they're all having like this crazy standoff, he just stabs him in the head with a machete.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that sounds like such a crazy thing to do, but in Rick's head, he goes, "I'm gonna kill you now before you get one of us killed or try to
Yeah.
kill me again.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna wait."
I can't even imagine the stress and anxiety of trying like to keep one eye open and just overthinking things. And it's like, especially if you have love and
Yeah.
respect for like that person, it's just like, did they really push that zombie on me, or am I thinking like they did?
Well, fortunately, in that situation, it was pretty black and white. But unfortunately, though, it's like I don't know. You never know. And then there's psychopaths that I feel like play a long game. They'll be good to you for like 6 months, and then one day you'll wake up and there's no food and your son's gone or something. You know what I mean? Like you don't. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a tough world to live in. That's crazy. I don't even know how we talking about all this.
But yeah, for me, the reason why I think it's a like a zero sum game is because like if you're good at surviving, you're gonna have to do hard shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably gonna have to kill people,
Mm-hmm.
do things that feel inhumane just to like I don't know. Because I feel like the biggest thing is no complications, right? Like I feel like some people might not even like take care of a lost kid because they're just like, ah, that's a liability. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then how dark people get. Like I remember there was that part where they decided they were gonna kill Daryl and Rick, and his son was with them, and there's like some fat creepy guy with them, and he's like, "Let me get the boy." Like after they decided they were gonna kill him, he's like, "I'm gonna molest his son," and it's like,
That's crazy. But anyways, so I just want to go back to like, I guess, relationships. We got a little off track there, but anyways,
mm-hmm,
um, I think like, for example, like you coming out and being down to do this, right?
mm-hmm,
That like speaks volumes to me. I
bro,
think yeah, of course. And I think that's why we get along so great, because we have like that spontaneous spark
yeah,
that I don't see in everybody. You know, one thing that I don't want to say it bothers me, but something that I look for now, I notice in relationships, is like someone who's like down to do something, like just like off the rip, like, oh, let's go to the beach, fuck it, let's
yeah,
go,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's like I want to meet more people like that, you know.
Yeah.
I want to look back in my life and think I've done a lot of like living.
Well, see, it's like I don't know. It like I feel like again, life has its ups and its downs, and just in general, I feel like, for lack of a better phrasing, life kind of beats you up,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on how you live your life and how you plan ahead, can change on like how much it affects you. Also with age and stuff, you know. Like for example, one of our friends that's older, he's been there, done that with a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it kind of makes it easier for him to not feel the need to be as spontaneous now. Even though
Mm.
sometimes he usually does, right? To like
Yeah.
want to do stuff with us.
Yeah.
But and I've seen myself on both sides. Like I've been the kind of guy that'll spend 3 nights at John's house and I'll sleep 6 hours in those 3 nights. You know what I mean? Like I just want to do anything and everything and we'll play
Yeah.
basketball till the sun almost comes up. But then I've also been the guy that's like, that's okay. Let's just eat a burrito and watch 3 episodes of something and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to bed. So it's
Yeah.
like,
You're right, and I feel like I've been both too.
yeah.
But I feel like we've been both more spontaneous than the average person at the same time.
And I feel like it's if it's done right, it's more rewarding than whatever safety you're craving of not doing that. I think
Mm.
that's what it is.
Yes, yes, yes,
Because
yes.
like I remember being super tired one day, and you were like, "Let's just go to the beach," and also the vibe wasn't right at the house, so I was like, "I'm not dying to stay up late," but I was like, I know that at least I don't know. I just wanted to be
We'll get a
hopeful.
good memory out of
And then
this.
sure enough, we're there, and all of a sudden, there's like a moment that you, or several moments, but like just there's a moment where you're sitting there and you're just like, "Damn, I could have just been in my room right
But
now."
okay,
You know what I
sorry,
mean?
this besides the point. But what did I say to you when
Oh,
you're
you
like,
killed me.
say it, I forgot.
This one's one for the books. This one. So we were sitting there, and then both Jimmy and I got the idea, like, let's get wet. We're just staring at water, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're at the
Let's go
beach.
and get in the water.
Like,
Yeah.
I get it if we don't want to swim in our underwear right now because it's
Mm.
cold and
But
all
at least
that.
let's get our
But, like,
feet wet. Yeah.
yeah. And I just remember you're like, no, you guys are crazy. Like the water's dark. I'm not trying to get like jaws. And we're like, come on, dude. Like they don't even have those kind of sharks around here and whatever,
Yeah.
right? And then finally we peer pressure you and you're like, okay, 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 okay. I'll get up and I'll go. And then sure enough, you're the one person that gets touched by like seaweed. I remember you get
Yeah,
in there,
I
you're like,
remember
ah,
freaking out. Oh, I there's nothing more I hate than when shit fucking touches me, bro.
and you can't
Literally,
see it, you
I
don't know.
always wear water shoes whenever I go
Yeah,
swimming anywhere
yeah,
because I hate when stuff touches me.
yeah. You don't know what it is, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. I don't know what
oh,
it is.
you just
I don't
assume
know
it's
what
the
it is.
worst. But I remember that you got out and you're like, I told you, and you like ran to the sand, and I was like, don't you feel better though? I remember saying like, don't you feel good that you did it? Like you weren't the one person that didn't get your feet wet,
Mhm.
and you're like, no, and I was like, fine, I won't push you to be better anymore, and you go, you promise? And I was like, it's
I won't
crazy.
push you. Yeah, I think you say I won't push you to face your fears
Oh
and do
yeah,
things
something
that
like that.
challenge you. And I was like,
You
you
promise?
promise?
And I started dying. Oh man! And then when I told the guys, they started using it. Gabriel started using it.
Promise? That's funny. But yeah, I just like that's something I look for in a. There's nothing more I hate than when you're pushing so hard to like make this spontaneous event happen, and when the people you're inviting is like resistance towards that.
But I think the resistance comes from like a weird comfort. You know what I mean?
Like I want people to meet me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of like having to beg people like come with me, fuck, like let's do this, you know.
And it's crazy because like there's so much fun to be had. You know, like,
Exactly, memories to be
and you
made.
never know. I really feel like sometimes it's like choosing to be upset, right? If you choose to be upset, then your day can get real negative, and you could think the wrong way about a bunch of things, like reframe things in your mind
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, right? Make a mountain out of an anthill.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you could be positive. Like I've had super positive days and had like heavy routes, and maybe I'll get a little tired, I'll get more overflow than I want. But when you're positive, it just helps you. It's like being attuned to different frequencies, right? Like we're all in the same place and everything's happening at the same time. Like there's a bad vibe to be tapped in, there's an inspirational vibe to be tapped in, there's
Mm-hmm.
grateful. So I feel like I almost feel really lucky and like supernatural about like the idea of even spontaneity being presented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost feels like a sign. Like if you're like, oh, let's just go to the casino, and it's like, yeah, it sounds crazy, but like if we don't work tomorrow, we have a little extra money and we go. You never know. What if one of us wins like $500? And like you never know what's possible, right?
Yeah.
What if we go and one of us enters a car raffle and wins it? You know, like,
And it's I think about like even like what Gabriel said, it's like isn't nostalgia a crazy thing? You know, like
and even if
thinking back
just
in
for the
time.
memory, even if just for the memory,
You
imagine,
know what I said in response to that? I said that's why I want to create more memories because I
yeah.
want more thoughts to go back to and think, oh,
So wasn't
like
that amazing?
that was
Yeah.
awesome. You know,
Because like the beach, I love looking back
I
on
know
that.
me
That was a vibe.
too. I'm so glad I did that,
Yeah.
and I feel like we're living in tough times and that we're being robbed of like being able to be free, you know, compared to like our past generations.
Yeah, just to be open to it. You never know. And even if you don't have like some magical thing, like we go to Vegas suddenly and some one of us wins a bunch of money, just the idea of it, like being able to look back and be like, you remember when we just fucked off to Vegas? Like we didn't even think about it, and I feel like no matter what, there'll still be moments. Like I don't know.
And that's what living is really like. And you know how I know that? Because when you tell stories like this to other people, they're like, whoa, no way you did that. Wow, I wish I was there.
Like
You know, that's
like
what I'm
I
saying.
remember there was like this stop and it was like a candy store with toys, and they had like every Beanie Baby you could think of. They had like hundreds of them and all these stuffed animals,
Mm-hmm.
and even the bathrooms had games. Like the guys' urinals had a TV, and you could aim on sensors in the
That's
urinal to play
crazy.
like a tank game or something.
That's funny.
So I just remember thinking, like, isn't that weird? Like we stopped there just to get some food, and then we played like a peeing game. Like when does that happen? You know? Um, but I remember we had really good food there too. They had like chicken and waffles or something, and it was just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun
Mm-hmm.
going to Vegas. Vegas was like when I went for Kobe's birthday, it was cool. Like we had a bunch of weird, like awesome moments. Like one of the nights we drank a bunch before we went out, like the first night. and I think we killed most of like the Tennessee honey handle, and we were so drunk it just tasted like honey. And then like there was like this funny thing that happened, like just everything about it. Like I remember we were going to like we were about to get ready, right? And Audrey's with us, and then suddenly she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna get dressed." And we're used to her being like this nice, like almost like Mormon type white girl, super nice glasses, you know. She's like attractive, but she's like very like toned down. She's
Yeah.
like church girl. And then she comes out wearing like barely anything, and we're like, "What the fuck?" Right? Like we're like, "Damn, okay." And then so we go out with her, and all of a sudden she has like a wardrobe malfunction, and all of a sudden there's a line of dudes that have the answer to like fix her dress. And I just
Wow.
remember thinking like,
That's funny.
and we're like trying to fix her dress outside of a club, and even a guy pulls up in a car and he goes, "I'm good with zippers," and we're like, "Thanks, bro." Like we're good.
Wow.
And just all the little funny things, like we go into the club and like you can hear people snorting in the bathroom, and you're just like, "Whoa,
That's
okay."
crazy.
And we went to this one club, and there was like this Asian girl, and she just like got on top of like a table, and she was just like shaking around. And I remember thinking like, somebody gonna stop that? You know, like I'm all for it. Like for me, I'm like, but I just remember thinking like, oh, this must be a cool club that nobody came and like was like, get off the table, you know?
Hmm.
Just all the different things. Like there was even like a night where we all just walked around. We just walked around the strip, and we kind of like hung out at one spot and then split up again.
We should go to Vegas
Yeah.
soon. We should.
And then it was funny too, because like I didn't realize what the prostitute scene is like out there, but I was hanging out with
It's
Desmond.
bad.
Oh, it's very open.
Oh my gosh.
Like I remember we were hanging out, and we're just walking, and two black girls walk up to us, and they're like, "Y'all are cute" or something like that, some right, like some warm up type
Hmm.
thing. And we're just like, "Thanks, you too," or whatever, right? And like one of them's shorter than the other one. And then all of a sudden, or I think she walked up and she was like, "Do y'all smoke?" And then she started complimenting us, and she had a blunt, and I just
Hmm.
thought it was like a random black girl, so I was like more open to it, right? Because I
Hmm.
didn't understand she was a prostitute.
Hmm.
And then we're just like hitting the blunt or whatever, and Desmond even hit it even though he wasn't normally smoking, and we're just talking to him. And then they're like, "What are you guys up to?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just walking. Like we went to a club, we ate, whatever. Like we're just enjoying the strip at this point." And then we're like, "What's up with you guys?" And then she goes, "Whatever's up with you guys." She's like, "Where y'all staying?" And then that's when
Wow.
it clicked with the both of us, like, "Oh, you guys are prostitutes." And I remember she was like, "You're cute and he's cute." And she's like, "He's tall and you're shorter, and I'm tall and she's shorter." And I remember thinking, like, this isn't happening by size because I'm not attracted to the smaller one. Like, I remember thinking, like, I'm not considering it.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, even if this was going to happen,
Hmm.
I'm not going to end up with her because we're the shorter one. If anything, you, bitch. Like, I was like, but in my head, also, I'm like, I don't know. I just remember in my head thinking, like, that's a weird way to phrase it. And then at the time, too, I remember being like, I'm not short, bitch. He's just a mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, but we realized what it was. We hit it a little more, and then we're like, well, we appreciate it, but no thanks or whatever. We're here with a bunch of friends, and we're all staying in like two rooms, so there's like not even anywhere to like get down or whatever, you know. And also, Desmond was kind of skeptical about him. He's like, you never know, dude. He's like, she might like rock you or whatever, like fuck you to sleep and then steal your shit. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I just feel like there's too much going on in that world. It's
How
not
do
worth the
you even
squeeze.
like? I don't know. That's crazy because I think about like if I were to do it, I can't imagine.
It's super dark because you never like, I don't know,
And
whatever.
they're not
Let's
even
not
up
get into
front.
that.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of dangers to that. But it's
Hmm.
a dark subject. But yeah, just Vegas was pretty cool. Just going around and stuff. I smoked my first cigar out there. I feel the need to express myself immaturely, but that shit was trash. I don't understand how people like cigars. Maybe it's an older man thing. Maybe it's a mature thing. But coming from somebody who smoked weed and cigarettes, like I like inhaling things and holding them in and stuff. And like I think cigars, you just fill your mouth with the smoke and you get a buzz from it.
Hmm.
And if you try to inhale it, it feels like you're sucking on a car's muffler. Like you just choke. Like you can't smoke a cigar.
That's fun.
You just gotta let it like fill your mouth, and then there's like taste, and you get
Interesting. There's a cool look to it. I'll
definitely
give it
like
that.
Arnold looks like he's
But
tight, but
that's about it.
I just remember we had gotten some supposedly nice ones from a niece. And niece was kind of showing us around Vegas because he was like,
Mhm.
he had a friend, a cousin that lived there. Oh, and then there was this cool thing. We went on like this Ferris wheel, and in the Ferris wheel, every one of like the little cabins that you get inside of, they had a bar. And so you pay ahead of time. All you got to do is like tip the guy as you ask for drinks, and you just get to see like the whole Vegas Strip. But I don't know. I feel like Vegas is really interesting to me because like I feel like I would even want to see like old Vegas and even just people that live around Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when we drove back with my boss from Philadelphia, we stopped in Vegas and he had friends there and we slept at their house and they lived like on the outskirts of Vegas and then we went to like some Buffalo something like casino that wasn't on the main strip but it's still like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like old Vegas. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because like when I was younger and more religious or like going to church all the time, I remember thinking like, oh, that's where you go to get lost. Like there's so many temptations. There's like prostitutes and drugs and
Mm-hmm.
gambling.
It's
Like
called Sin City.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
how we would look at it. Like that's where you go to get lost. That's where you go to see how dark you can get.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like now being more worldly, I feel more so comfortable with indulging in that. But also like you don't have to do crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of dark things that happen there, and you don't have to participate in them. You can still go there and have a regular time. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Sorry if I'm starting to get tired. I also like work in the morning.
what time is it? You want to call it?
Yeah, I think so. But like just to like finish it off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because like I really just I think my focus was just like on relationships, and of course I was like I expected this to go like all kinds of directions. And one thing I enjoy about like our friendship is that we can literally talk about anything.
Yeah.
And it's something I look
Oh,
forward to when I get home. Is just like being able to conversate about like just anything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A day at work,
Mm-hmm.
just random thoughts,
Insights
growth.
I've made, yeah, stuff like that, and just to see your perspective on things. That really like paints a picture, and like help makes me like open my eyes to like we have to be careful to like what we say, and that's something like I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself on. It's like how I articulate my opinions and my thoughts,
Yeah.
and that's why I feel like I I still feel like I still struggle with like stuttering or like phrasing certain things or like
To be honest,
building sentences on what
Mhm.
it is that I'm trying to say because I'm trying to like be so careful as to not
Offend.
offend people, and to really trying to articulate what it is I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I've been noticing it more and more the more I listen to podcasts recently that it's a real thing. Like there'll
What
be
is?
times so like depending on where your mind's at and
Mhm.
what you allow to affect you
Mhm.
emotionally, like words,
Mhm.
um like there have been times where normally I listen to Joe Rogan through my filter,
Mhm.
me and my sensitivities. And when I
Mhm.
do that, he doesn't offend me. He doesn't even register on my radar of offensive things. I even feel like he speaks about a lot of things with grace.
Mhm.
But if I try to look at it outside of the way I see things, then I can pick up on times where people could be sensitive about the way he says stuff. Like
Yes.
literally 3 times the last time I worked, I caught him in a podcast saying things a certain way, and I was like, "Oh, I could see how a group of people would get upset about that." Or like even the other day when we were describing like incel type people or underperforming members of society,
Mhm.
I already had a specific image in my head. But like when you generalize with a specific kind of person, now you make a target out of them, even though you
Mhm.
don't mean that.
And having that specific capability of being able to see that to
Mm-hmm.
where something someone says can be offensive or like make a thing out of it, it like applies to what we say. We have that same sort of recognition within ourselves, like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like that's why I feel like it takes a while for us to kind of put into words
Yeah,
what it is we're trying to say because we're trying to be so careful.
I want to get better about it. I don't know. It's weird. I'm torn on that subject
Mhm.
because, like, I was also hearing a podcast with Theo, right,
Mhm.
where he did the dirtiest jobs guy. You know, that guy with the deep voice,
Mhm.
and I noticed. I haven't seen it. I want to watch it now, but I noticed like on the audio, there's tons of awkward cuts, and they usually come after he says something wild. And I kept getting the feeling that shit wasn't landing, so they had to edit around awkward
That's
conversations with the guy.
funny.
Because the guy was too on the fucking nose, the dirty jobs guy. Sometimes Theo would make a joke and he'd be like, and then he would say some other shit, like change the subject,
Yeah, that's
or
funny.
he would say a joke that you were like, I know he's not gonna like it, and then it would cut to them talking about something else,
And
and you're
I
like, oh, I
always
knew that didn't
and
land.
I always wonder. I'm just like, this. Am I the only one who cuts like parts of my podcast?
No,
And then I'm just because it feels like almost like Joe Rogan or Theo, like they never make cuts. I'm like, are they really authentic the whole way through? There ain't no way.
no. There's definitely cuts, and I feel like they're intentional about trying to be authentic. it's just about sensitivity, you know?
No, I
Because like
know. Same here
Joe
though.
Rogan
In
even
with my
said that.
within my
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said that in one of the last podcasts I heard. He goes, yeah, man. Sometimes I have to stop the podcast and be like, hey, we should probably cut that out, and then we just cut it out, and you guys never see it.
Wow.
Because sometimes we'll be talking and they'll say some wild shit, and he's like, I know what you mean, but that's gonna come off rough. Like,
Yeah. Not everyone can
but the
see
balance though,
what I see.
I want balance because even though I always want to be aware of other people and put in some effort out of my own
Yes, yes.
care and self respect, I also don't want to be walking around eggshells with everybody. Like at a certain point, I'm me. Like there's a lot I admire about Theo Vaughn that he might not always land, but you know where the fuck he's coming from. And like, I feel like if you don't see that, then it's an intelligence issue.
So that's where the magic comes in, is to be able to articulate it in a way to where people can understand where you're coming from, you
Yeah,
know?
but also a balance because I don't always want to be careful. Sometimes I just want to say some shit and it's funny, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a literal idea that I'm waving a
Mhm.
flag behind.
Mhm.
Like sometimes I'm just gonna say some shit and it works for the moment.
That makes
That's
sense.
not my political standing, you know. Like,
That makes sense. You see, and that's like something we look for in relationships when you're trying to build new
yeah.
relationships. So,
Also, just being able to, like, yeah, just like you were saying. I don't know. I feel like it's important to discern, you know.
mhm. I think another thing I struggle with is like when like I'm building relationships, it's like I see things that they're struggling with so clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I feel in my heart that they're not ready to hear the truth, so you have
Yeah.
to hold back and just kind of let them figure it out on their own, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've been through this, listen. I'm just gonna keep to myself, and that's something. It's something else, and that's why I hate filtering myself. I want to find more people to where I don't have to do that.
Be careful. Yeah.
But it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a lesson I've learned, and this is like what I feel and I believe. But it's like even speaking out loud about just yourself, not even attacking or even saying your opinion on the other person, just speaking about your own personal experiences can be triggering for the other person because
Yeah.
it could mirror what they're going through
There's
and thinking,
comparison,
yes,
and
and
then if
think
they're not ready to believe in something, even if you've made some epiphany or insight, you
they start
know,
to feel insecure and think like why am I not there, and like, or I'm not ready to be where she's at, you know?
and sometimes it could be subconscious. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that they're not ready to listen to something, they could just get defensive and like come up with any reasoning to protect themselves on why
Mm-hmm.
you're bad or wrong or
Yeah. And that's another thing that sucks about being so emotionally intelligent and intuitive. It's like we're so good at like recognizing patterns and clearly see that people are uncomfortable or like shifts in patterns, and it's just like, and that's something I recently like told you about. It's like I can't, like, this person is so hot and cold. Like, what do I do with this? You know, like I am uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's teaching me to be comfortable in the
yeah,
uncomfortable. You know, like despite what this person is going through, I need to learn to stay steady in myself because I know who I am as a person is like. It's like I'm good hearted. I'm
yeah,
right. You know, I'm just like they shouldn't affect me, and I shouldn't adjust myself to make them feel comfortable. I'm
yeah.
tired of that.
You never want to dim yourself for something else,
Exactly.
and in several ways, you know what I mean. Like one of the things I remember catching myself with is sometimes because of comparison, there'll be times where you can shine bright in certain situations, and I myself have dimmed myself because of how other people feel. Like I'll
Yes.
pick up that they're not feeling good or they feel insecure,
Same
and then
here.
I feel like I have to be like, "Oh, that was nothing," or like not take compliments or whatever it may be, right? Like,
Yeah, same here. And that gets exhausting. I don't want to have to do that. And
but
it's
I
like,
don't feel like that when it comes to other people. I've never felt like somebody should dim themselves for me.
exactly. So
When
how is that
somebody's tight, I'm
fair?
always like, "Good for you. This is
How is that
amazing."
fair? You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that's a good note to end it on. Like I said, this wasn't necessarily planned, so it's not like we really had like something to end it on.
Mhm.
But I do work tomorrow, and this is something that, oh, that's another thing that I've been struggling with, is that this is a passion of mine.
Mhm.
So I try to set time aside. You know, I'm not gonna get a full 8 hours of sleep because I decided to take this on and be like, you know what, I want to make a podcast tonight. I don't even care. um That's something I was struggling with lately. I feel like I've been putting a lot of time and effort into trying to put time and effort into like putting focus on like my actual job that actually has it, makes me an income and helps me pays the bills, but it's not something that necessarily fulfills me,
Yeah.
you know. So uh but despite that, I'm sacrificing my fun, my free time, my sleep,
Creativity. Yeah.
to be able to put energy towards this, because this is something I find
Oh
that's
yeah.
fun and energetic and like exciting. Like I'm
It
always
fills you with
excited.
energy. You
It
get like a high out of it.
literally fills me with energy. I get so excited when I do more episodes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm just like so eager and willing to do it, even though I have to go to work tomorrow in the morning. But
I
anyways,
look forward to all of it. I
yeah.
enjoy the editing, everything.
Everything, yeah, that's another good
Yeah.
part. I like that you bring that up, because even after we film, I'm just like, "Ooh, now we get to rewatch what we talked about
Yeah.
and stuff like that." So that's exciting.
And then it spawns other conversations. Like you think of
Exactly.
something you might have not
And that's
said.
something that I think another idea that I want to do is filming us edit our podcast episode, because it's like we have so much more conversations
Mm-hmm.
within the editing process. It's crazy.
And what I love about that is like, for one, it could be its own thing,
Mhm.
or it could just be a visual note taking.
Mhm.
And then we use that to then build off of that for the next
Yeah.
episode when we want to continue certain, categories of or topics or things like that.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I like all these aspects of life is that they're constant, right?
Mhm.
Like how you visualize or learn from relationships is something that's going to keep happening. Like you're going to keep eating, you're going to keep sleeping.
Yep.
Like as you grow and meet different people and learn things about
Mhm.
yourselves and others, you'll have new insights and
Mhm.
different ways to think about things.
Anyways, I'm excited for the next episode,
Yeah.
because we do have something planned already for the next one. And if you made it this far, and if you're a returning viewer, I am so grateful for that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And like, oh, I guess, yeah. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Peace out.